This is Radio Free Cybertron episode, what is it? 709.
Yeah.
I'm tired. So tired. We're all so tired. Any more caffeine? Hold on, let me take an energy drink shot.
So I'm XV.
I'm Brian. There's Diecast.
I'm here.
And Matt.
Hey.
And Don. And Rob.
I still exist.
And
Hi, Rob.
John.
Hey, I'm eating on air.
Well, you're not on video. Of course, this is a
And you're eating
podcast.
quietly, so it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm about to. So I'm working through this Rockstar, and once I'm done with the Rockstar, I'm going to move to this beautiful glass bottle of Dr. Pepper with
Ooh.
cane sugar.
I'm just powered by Mountain Dew Code Red tonight.
Have you tried Mountain Dew Zero?
No, why would I?
It's not bad.
But I want the
It's got a weird
sugar.
aftertaste. Yeah, Mountain Dew Zero has a weird aftertaste to me. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, to me it's not that much different than Diet Mountain Dew.
That tastes
And I've
different.
heard the
right?
new melon is not good.
Like, the most pointless thing to me that ever existed in soda was Diet Caffeine-Free Mountain Dew.
Yeah, screw that.
Which you can't really find anymore anyway, but it did exist at one point, and it's just like, why?
Yeah. I know. Hey, so why are we here? We're here to talk about Transformers and news and stuff. I was looking at Twitter today.
I'm sorry.
Anthony, CFU.info, had shared a link to a Botcon 99 video, and it was on the Botcon Archives YouTube channel. And I think we'd asked a couple weeks back when Don had started asking the question about Headmaster RC. And if there's an answer, it's there. So I'm going to start digging through. Yeah, I'm going to start digging through that channel and looking specifically. It's either going to be during the Hasbro panel or the organizer panel. So I'll look at those videos. But I was looking at a Botcon 94 Hasbro panel, which I didn't even realize Hasbro was there, but they were.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it was Don who asked the question about the Transformers Generation 2 SNES game. So I shared the link out on Twitter. I retweeted it from @TF Radio if you want to check it out. It sounds exactly like Don. It's just it's odd that Don would. To me, it seemed odd that Don would ask that question, but Don was dropping some knowledge, not exactly accurate knowledge. It's there's a old rumor that it became the Transformers G2 game was discontinued and became Vortex, which was also a Super FX2 chip game. Apparently, that's not the case, but Don is conversant about that stuff, so I bet it was him who asked that question.
I'll be honest, I don't remember, but some of the guys that I know working for the local GameStop, when I was talking to Alan Oppenheimer at that last TFCon, asking him about his Skeletor voice, I don't even remember asking that question and its own video that I did. So
yeah,
I may have. I just don't remember.
But I do hope that
you're just old now, Don.
Yeah, I do hope that the first, when you're releasing Headmaster RC question was asked. I was even searching. Google Groups, formerly Deja News, for like references to that. And the first reference I found was like 2001, and I know he was asking the question before that. But interestingly enough, Don started posting back to, he'd left and came back to All Toys Transformers in 1999. And that was, of course, 22 years ago. Don's typing and writing was so much better then. Don, what happened? Usually, like going back, I look at my stuff, I'm like, God, I couldn't write at all. And actually, yeah, but Don, you're like clear and coherent. I guess you're not working 100 hours a day, a week at that point.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not coherent anymore.
No, you totally are, but like your writing was just crisp. I don't know.
I got old. I got tired.
In 1999,
Beat down by
when
life.
writing was crisp and coherent. Eric Crownover didn't know how to write.
Yeah, he was being born. Funny enough, in 1999, Don was still using the same email address that Don uses in 2021.
I have had the same mindspring.com account since 1990. Yeah,
that was
because I bought my first computer and it was an IBM PS1 in '94.
Yeah, that was.
I've had my email longer than Don.
Wait, you had it before? You had it before '94? When did you set up your email address?
Oh, you know what?
It was '94.
Well, I was 12, so
for your Gmail, yeah, that sounds about right.
90, no. You know what? I stand corrected. I set it up as it was Diecast 2, but it was at AOL because AOL was the thing that was popular.
Do you still have it?
No.
Oh, then it doesn't count.
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
I think Diecast was more thinking like, he has the same email handle from
well,
that part.
Don had the same email account.
It's been so long, I forgot that it was AOL first.
Yeah, I was running Windows 3.1.0, 3.1 whatever basically I was running Windows 3.1 on a 2400 baud modem.
That sounds correct for 1984. Yeah.
So, my first email address, I still have it, goes back to 1997, but Don wins.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so enough about that. So, let's see here. We didn't have a live show last week. We did a live stream for our patrons at patreon.com/tfradio.
I think that is still visible to patrons who were not able to be there live.
It is. I also posted it as a podcast, so it's there in podcast form. But if you want to go and check it out, go to patreon.com/tfradio and sign up. So this is the first episode that we've done since 707, because 708 was our big year in review show. Go check that out, tfradio.net/708. And
yes,
you can...
please validate the 3 hours we spent doing that.
Oh, yes.
Make it worth something, please.
Yes. So that is definitely worth checking out. So that would be fun. And as Cheesy Patty said, it was dead last week. Yes.
We probably should have worked harder to advertise the.
It was Cheesy Patty, Ness, and maybe one other person. But we did a show for
Jacob
them.
Was there?
Yeah, and I think we did a show for them. But they're still available, and it's also available in podcast form. So, let's see here. What else? Anything else to talk about? Nothing else is really.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
It's probably me just being dumb and didn't realize it. But did anyone else know these Kingdom cards that there's a sticker that you can pull off of it, and there's a new card underneath it?
I might have mentioned that the day that I talked through like the first wave of Kingdom back in December.
And Hasbro covered that on their panel.
Alone.
Yeah, Hasbro revealed that during PulseCon.
PulseCon? Yeah.
Yeah. So that was late
that
September.
Thing too.
Yeah, when they did the first day
September
official.
was 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's true.
That's true. When they did the official reveal of Kingdom that first day of PulseCon, they detailed the stickers. They didn't show like what was underneath the stickers, but they demonstrated that you can peel that front layer off and reveal secret information.
Yeah.
My friend Rob told me, and he had just found out too, and I was just amazed. I was like, I don't ever remember hearing that.
And there's probably other people in our audience who didn't catch that detail initially either. So,
like, I want to peel it off, but then I'm like, I don't know where to put the sticker. If I peel it off.
Yeah, I'm not showing any of mine. I just don't care that much.
On your Trapper Keeper.
Ah, yes.
I don't have a Trapper Keeper anymore.
What? I have two.
Well,
of course you do.
They're new Trapper Keepers, though. That, like, when I say new, like in the last 10 years, the last time Mead made them. I wish I had a vintage Trapper Keeper. That would be cool, but I'm not that cool.
well, eBay.
Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Hey, let's
So easy.
Yeah.
So easy.
Hey, are we going to do the live? Are we going to do the non-Toy Fair live stream? Do we still want to do that?
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we should make a plan around that.
So that's about a month away. So it looks like that'll be on Saturday the 13th. Is that okay to do it that day? That's like Valentine's Day weekend.
I mean, Diecast always misses Valentine's Day anyway, so I think Don's the only one who might have a problem now.
Well, Valentine's Day is on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But it's also
Yeah,
Saturday
and
that
I've-
people do
I've
things.
Yeah, but I've requested that Sunday off for girlfriend-related Valentine's dinner
Good.
stuff. So yeah,
Good.
Okay.
so I won't be available Saturday.
So I think we'll be doing a live stream that day. I don't know what it's going to be yet. I don't know how big a deal we're going to make of it, but at the very least, it'll be a fun live stream to
we'll
BS
we'll
about
figure
toys.
some stuff out.
Yeah.
I definitely want to hear when Don has to buy a ring and how he Dononomics is that, because that's going to be impressive.
Yeah, he'll have to get like all his eBay bucks, and
No, see, the thing is, Diecast, the true expression of love is to give a gift that you use no Dononomics on at all. True love is full retail.
I just have a feeling something under one of those sheets is getting sold.
I don't think Don has to sell anything to. I think Don is. I think Don is.
That wouldn't.
I think Don would end up selling. He would end up going to Target and buying up all those Krangs, maybe. But
do you still have any Rainmaker sets, Don?
No, just mine. Just mine. I still need to open them.
ooh, gosh, a plain green vintage Trapper Keeper, $70.
That seems. How vintage is vintage when we're talking vintage Trapper Keepers?
80s.
It would have to be like mint condition, to
Right.
get that.
There's one from '92 here that still has like the shelf tag on it. It's from '92. $50. It's pretty, but I'm not getting it. I don't need it. So let's move on.
No, that's just like an interesting glimpse into a collector market I never thought of. Like, people who want vintage, like school stationery stuff.
I'm not gonna lie. This is not the first time I've looked for a vintage Trapper Keeper on eBay.
I'm not going to lie either. I am not at all surprised by that statement, Brian.
Yeah. So
I still wish I had my members only jacket. It would probably worth quite a bit at this point.
You can still buy members only jackets, Don. Don't they still make them?
Well, we know what we're getting Don for his birthday.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of birthdays, Chris, yours is how many days away?
Next Tuesday. So next week's show, I'll be old and sad instead of just, slightly not as old
25?
and sad like I am this week.
25, is that right?
For Chris,
you've known
it will
me
be
since I was
Tuesday.
15.
For Chris, it will be Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm about to turn 37, and you've known
Thank
me
you,
since
Matt,
I
because
was
I was trying to piece together something using that line, and I just could not get anything to.
Manny
form
Kara
up,
saying
so
members
thank
only is still made, so I thought so.
But you have to be a member.
That's true.
That's why no one buys the jackets
Yeah.
anymore. No one's a member.
Hey, so let's go ahead and jump to our 2021 predictions.
I'll go
Let's-
first.
oh, no.
Yeah, Chris, you can go first.
Okay, so I'm going to cheat a little bit on one of these, but I've basically got 3 categories. So one of them is just kind of mundane. So for that one, it's going to be we're going to see a new subline announced this year. Studio Series selects in order to catch redecos like Ricochet that wouldn't have a place in normal Studio Series,
Ooh.
but let them reuse things like Studio Series Jet.
I like that.
Yeah, I thought that's a good idea.
And especially if that would get us like a selects like E-Hobby Black Rodimus out of that hot rod mold. That's another thing I'd really like to see. Maybe it would be another it'd be a mechanism for them to like get like a minor redeco Scourge out of Sweet, for instance. There's a few things they could do with that to actually justify like making a whole subline around Studio Series 86 recolors. So I think we'll see that this year. For number 2 is where I'm really cheating because this is my Masterpiece predictions. I've got 3 things here. I've split up into 3 categories of Masterpiece. So the obvious Masterpiece Crosscut will get announced, which Crosscut would be the redeco / retool of Skids.
Yeah.
Optimistic is Jazz finally, and out there I'm calling Beast Wars Masterpiece Terrorsaur because that would require even more magic in the engineering than Dinobot did.
I like
and would
it.
be just as big and expensive. My third prediction is the sad trombone prediction. The entirety of the 2022 Generations line will be leaked for August. So look forward to the RC Extra leak cast sometime this summer. And those are my predictions for this year.
Sweet. Diecast.
I was gonna go later. For Masterpiece, I'll go with I'm gonna say we're not getting Jazz because I picked that one for like the last 2 or 3 years, and at this
Watch
point,
it
I
happen
think, like,
this year.
I know.
it's hopeless because we're getting a Skids and they skip Jazz, and it's so frustrating. So I'm gonna go with no Jazz. I'll go with a Skywarp announced this year,
That's
and
pretty
then see, I really don't know what to do with Generations. I feel like I
Skip it.
have,
know everything. Yeah, just skip it.
yeah.
We don't have categories. Just predict whatever.
And then I just predict something, and this is going to be open to interpretation, but very different for the next trilogy.
Yeah, I would believe that.
Like not G1. Like
I wouldn't believe that. I mean, not in its entirety anyway.
what was that?
I wouldn't believe they would not do G1 at least in part, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean it seems like everything's up until now it was like inspired by G1, inspired by G1, inspired by G1. Now it's like straight on G1. I don't know. That's really all I got.
So Diecast.
Yeah, no, I mean that seems plausible, and I hope you're right about that one. Though.
So can you restate that one? I was distracted.
The best way to put it is something that's not gonna be G1
For Generations?
He thinks
For
the next
Generations.
Generations trilogy is going to be something different and
Okay.
not G1. Like
That's similar.
straight up G1 based.
Okay, that's similar to one of my predictions. Let's see here, Rob.
Okay, I only have two there off the top of my head. I think that Skids is going to be the beginning of a trend, and Masterpieces are going to step back from their current price and complexity levels to the relief of basically everyone. I also think I'm going to get more specific than Diecast and say that the new team is going to go with an Armada theme for the next chapter in Generations, which probably will be the start of a new trilogy.
I would love that. I love Armada.
Armada Energy on Cybertron trilogy.
Yeah. Cool. Is that it?
That's all.
Sweet. Matt.
Okay, I decided to have fun with this because, like, we already know like everything coming up in Kingdom. So, like Chris said, whatever's coming after Kingdom is going to get leaked. But my guess is it's going to be Euro G1 characters, and we're going to get a Generations Thunder Clash.
You say you wrote that for you, but you really wrote that for me.
Yeah, me too.
All right, this next round.
Hey,
Yeah.
things I want to buy. I'm going to complete my Euro G1 collection, I think, right now. Let me do that.
Okay, so that's one of Brian's predictions for 2021. He's going to complete his Euro G1.
Right now. I only have like a couple pieces left.
Okay, so take a drink, everybody.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. I had to write this down because it's kind of lengthy. Hasbro will stop using clear plastic in toys because it's nearly impossible to match paint and plastic colors, and it's good for nothing other than showing folded up robot parts under windshields, and it is fragile and stupid, and we hate it.
I support this.
Okay.
Take me back to the Combiner Wars days when everything was opaque. Yes.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Masterpiece. Skids threw everything, out the window. Everything's on the table. So they're going to get into Masterpiece Troop Builders, Masterpiece Gnaw.
Interesting.
Now, as a subset of this, Matt, how many of those are you going to buy?
We'll discuss that when we see a price point. Okay, and my last one. This is for Diecast. Due to production challenges and inflated shipping prices, HasLab Unicron delayed until early 2022.
Nah, it's too close.
Don. Don, you're muted. I muted you a while ago.
No, I'm muted. Yeah.
Don.
Sorry, Don.
Okay, sorry, I didn't realize. Okay, that's fine. I didn't realize I was making noise. I was causing problems. I'm sorry. Okay, I've got 4 predictions. 2 are one is way out, and the other one is oh hell no. But I'm going to do it anyway because this is what I'm thinking. In Kingdom, we are going to see Beast Wars Inferno, but called Scavenger. Like the Transmetal version was back in Beast Wars. So they'll be able to get an Inferno into the line for fans, but it's going to be called Scavenger, both as an homage to the original, the way it was done originally, and maybe to keep the name. So we will be getting Ant Inferno, but that way they don't have 2 Infernos in the same line. Through Pulse or through Takara as a crowd-funded option, we will be seeing Black Zarak from Scorponok that comes with a recolored fast track for the spear, and it will include an effects part that will either be a energy blast effect, but for those of us that know, it will also represent Devil Z.
Okay.
My way out there, I will finally get my Skylinks repainted as the Purple Griffin from Aerial Assault.
Okay.
Okay. Now my way out there, they are going to finally remember that they also have GoBots under their banner, and we are going to see a Combiner Wars Stunticon gift set redone as Puzzler.
That's interesting.
That is definitely way the hell out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Somehow I thought your way the hell out there thing was going to be
So,
MP51 plus Headmaster RC.
Well, I decided with as y'all said, with Skids coming out, everything is just literally who knows. So, besides, I'm not buying many masterpieces right now anyway. So let's just see what happens.
Don's lagged as well, I think.
And that's my
me.
predictions.
Cool. Okay. John.
Well, I've got boost on. Sorry.
Oh, he is definitely lagged.
Yeah, he's like
Way lagged.
Maybe it'll get better.
All right. Maybe he can tell us about the past. I don't know. Actually, no. That would, because we just lived it. That's not helpful at all. Anyway.
we can tell him about the future.
Oh yeah. All right, there you go. Let's see here. Okay, so a couple things. That weird Armada Prime test shot that we saw like 7 years ago, that will drop out of nowhere in the middle of the year. Kind of like some things have dropped before, just like we forgot they exist, and then all of a sudden, like the Devastator gift set, like we hear rumors, and then, oops, he shipped, right? So he's just done. So I think we'll just get that falling out of the sky. And then my other one that I really wanted to try to think about, and I don't think it's a perfect solution, but my prediction is we will have another HasLab Transformers project.
Oh, that's good.
And then the question is, what is it? Because Unicron is like the only thing in Transformers lore that is like an obvious choice for HasLab. So anything else is a stretch. So
City.
So
That's
John,
what I thought.
Kingdom Arc.
John, let me ask you a question based on that prediction.
Sure.
Like, do you think they would use HasLab the same way Takara Tomimall tried to do their own, essentially crowdfunding through pre-orders? Like, use that to get Titan recolors made.
Yeah, so I thought about that. That's definitely like a possibility. Kind of like Don was saying, like Black Zarak or a reissue of Fortress Maximus or something like
Metro
that.
Titan, yeah.
Metro Titan or
Love
a
that.
new Metroplex that is like just not quite as ambitious as Unicron, but Metroplex version 2. I think that's all more plausible than what I decided to say, because it's more fun to think about. And it's what Diecast said. Autobot City. So some take on Autobot City where they really play into the base mode, and it turns into pseudo Metroplex or something like that. But it's really marketed as this giant kind of sprawling Autobot City. That's my crazy prediction, but
I could totally see HasLab being like, here's Metroplex 2 and here's Black Zarek. So that's it.
I really want a HasLab Metroplex now.
Yeah.
In a 2-pack, you have to get Black Zarek and Metroplex or Metro Titan in a 2-pack. But I wanted to say something that came to my mind when John was predicting that Armada. That was Armada Prime, right? That we saw.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now that could be an early hint to the next trilogy, because Rob said that he thought they might go Armada in the next trilogy, and that could maybe that is a hint.
Maybe.
So I think that was probably developed too early to be something they were
Yeah, that we saw that
making
2 years ago.
with intent for the next trilogy. But
They could use it.
yeah, if they decide to revisit some of that stuff, that could certainly be an outlet to actually get that into production and into a retail line. Because, like, from what we've heard, the big stopping point right now is that Takara just has no idea what to do with that now that they've made it. They don't know where it goes.
Or crazy conspiracy theory, Takara did that, put it in the show. Hasbro saw it and said, "Hey, that's what we want to do for the next trilogy. You know, take that out for now." It could have been a coincidence that Takara, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's certainly possible in a sense. Like I would say, like, similar to how two different versions of Computron happened at the same time between them, but with brand unification, like, you know, they saw that and then started talking about, like, why don't we jump off of this and, like, do some more stuff, and we'll just hold this back.
We'll put a pin in
Until
this
we're
and
ready
come back
to-
to it later. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
because, like, it doesn't matter if they shelve it for a couple of years, like, you know, they're sitting on an investment then, but as long as they have a concrete plan to bring that out, they're still going to get that money back presumptively. So, I mean, that's more plausible than some of the things we're tossing around right now.
You know what's scary?
A lot of things, but what?
The prospect of buying a G1 Pyro.
Oh.
Yes, that's frightening.
I predict that Brian will buy a G1 Pyro this year.
And break it.
I predict it will end in tears.
I'm looking at one. It's in the box right now, and it's gorgeous.
In tears and shattered gold plastic.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, I don't think Brian's stupid enough to buy one of those and then open it.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, it's going in like a lockbox or something.
Yeah.
This goes back to what we were talking about with a few months ago, or like early last year, maybe, like, you know, getting Black Zarex or like mint in box Overlords and stuff, and then just having to like take up custodianship.
That comes in a window box, so he'll drop it and it will break in
You'll see
the
it.
sealed package, and he'll be able to see
It's
it.
not sealed, but I'm going to cut
No.
Go ahead.
He'll get it. He'll get it. He'll put it on the shelf, and he'll put it under a sheet like you're supposed to do.
It's gold plastic. It's not going to discolor.
Yeah.
And an airtight bed sheet. Just seal it. Brian, you got to save your money for like 90% of the Arcade 1-Up releases this year.
I don't need
slow
them.
down.
That X-Men cabinet.
You
Oh,
don't need any of it. You don't need any of the stuff like around you, behind you,
Right.
to the left, to the right.
I think we all understand when we say, you know, whether we need something or not. Like, we don't have a context for how we collect whatever we're collecting, where this is like part of that pattern.
I'm going to invest this year in a 4-player MAME cabinet and be done with it.
Okay.
That way I don't have to worry about buying another Arcade 1-Up.
Yeah.
I already have the cabinet now, the bar top version, which I love, but it's 2 players. I'm just going to do a 4-player and be done.
You heard it here, folks.
I mean, it's been my plan for a while. Okay. My predictions, they're not that interesting or enticing. One, I'm just bucking on an assumption that I had, because I assumed that Studio Series 86 was going to be a 2021 deal, but I'm predicting that it's going to continue beyond 2021. Not a bold prediction by any stretch. A Masterpiece non G1 non Beast Wars toy will be announced.
Okay, fascinating.
Yeah, and I guess my bold prediction, very specific. It's either right or it's wrong. TFCon acquires official convention status.
All right.
So, there you go.
Pack your bags and Dawn, practice asking the question once again in the mirror. We're obligated to get you there to the next official convention, and your work is not done.
Yeah, I mean, like,
No, I mean, I think no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
I think we'd have to have Don update the question for 2022 to be specifically like, when can we expect Headmaster Masterpiece RC, since like, it's come out in one format already, even if it's not the ideal one.
And I will say, actual Masterpiece RC's head is big enough to turn into a decent-sized mini robot. We're almost there, Don. But we need your strength. We need one more spirit bomb from Don to make it happen.
Okay, let's go ahead and jump to the news.
Yes.
So, Masterpiece Skids announced. We mentioned that, of course,
We teased it during the year in review show a little bit.
and we just mentioned it though in the predictions. So, hey,
So weird. So weird.
I mean, it was announced. Was it announced or was it leaked?
No, it's official. It came out through the Takara social media channels.
Well, there you go. It's line art. It looks nice.
Yeah, so this would be a rendering from their CAD assets from where they're working on the design for this at this point. So, like, just like with Starscream, the early stuff we saw with that, we can expect Skids to look very close to what this depicts. So I don't think we're gonna be like surprised in a few months and it's gonna be like, super cartoon accurate, as much as there is such a thing for Skids, who is in the cartoon for all of about 45 seconds total.
Yeah.
I have Masterpiece Skids right here.
Okay, call the cops. Call the IP cops.
The interesting thing with... Oh, sorry, John.
Well, I was going to... No, you go ahead, Chris, but then I'll have a question for any of the Masterpiece collectors on the show.
The interesting thing with this is that the tweet that the images came with basically said that Skids represented the start of a new direction in Masterpiece. And I think we can kind of see... I know, I think we can kind of see...
better direction.
I think we can see some of what that means here, because it's not super cartoon accurate. It's not super toy accurate, but like it's skewing more toward the toy than cartoon for its source material, and kind of striking a balance between the two, which, like, to my mind, is a lot more like what the initial Masterpiece Autobot cars were. And
Paladin. Paladin's asking, where's MP Mudflap?
I mean, give them enough time, and
that'll be a plus of this, I'm sure.
I hope this is also going to represent a lower price point than what we were getting with Masterpiece.
That's one thing I'm thinking that they might be aiming for by going in a different engineering style. If it doesn't have to be 100% cartoon accurate robot mode and all the engineering that goes along with that to get from a realistic vehicle mode, like, that might drop some of the overhead in the design and the parts count and actually allow for the price points to stop skyrocketing.
Yeah, because I'm clearly a Masterpiece guy, and I'm almost done with Masterpiece. Like, it's frustrating.
Yeah. So I was going to ask that of the guys that collect it. So it sounded like you guys had a positive reaction to this, as like somebody who like looks at the line mostly from the outside, having it like kind of meander around with what it's trying to do. Like every 2 or 3 years, it just changes direction. Is that not frustrating, or do you guys just view Masterpiece not like as this singular thought?
It's not monolithic. It's not a single idea. It's kind of like it's the prestige line, which I kind of hate to put it that way. Hopefully, I'm sorry, my volume was down. I don't think it's like one monolithic thing. I think it's like just one they want you to spend a lot of money on at once.
You know, I think calling it a prestige line, like, it sounds pretentious, but I think it's an accurate way to describe it.
Yeah, Masterpiece is pretentious, but I still.
Right.
It certainly has been the last few years.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but basically,
I can't say my reaction to this is positive because I had just decided that I was done.
Yeah.
And now this is kind of giving me hope that it'll be good again, and I'm not sure how I feel about that.
All right, let's let Don get his thought since he's lagged and we don't talk over him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've got the boost on. You know, I think they're going to have to. A couple years ago, when they restructured and tried to make it a little more after MP09, when they started with the MP10 and went with a coherent theme there, I think they're looking at trying to do the same thing here, but trying to go with characters that they can make, maybe simplify the characters, lower price point to get more sales, because they're seeing what these higher price points are doing.
We don't know what they cost yet, do we?
As far as the sales goes.
Yeah, we have no idea yet what it's going to cost.
Exactly.
All we have
But I'm right. But I mean, I can't if they're looking at starting a new direction for this, going even more complicated and even higher price doesn't seem like would be the way to go. So what you're saying by going with a simpler aesthetic, simpler designs, but still trying to maintain that accuracy would make more sense, because for every Megatron that they produce and they can't sell, they could get, you know, an Autobot car out that would sell in volume a lot more.
Yeah, maybe.
And like
I
my
wish they
prediction
would.
of Jazz for this coming year
Yeah.
is kind of based on the Skids thing, because like Don says, you know, it's something that they could do a fairly simplified design for, but still keep it accurate to the look of the character really easily. Like, Jazz is not a complicated thing to do, and if they're looking for easy targets like that that can come in at lower price points, Skids, Jazz, even some of the Autobot mini cars they haven't touched yet, like, all of those are good candidates for this and would fit with the aesthetic that they're kind of introducing us to with the Skids art.
Cool.
Let
So,
2021 be the year of cheese.
yeah. Thundercracker, based on the new Starscream mold that was leaked.
Mhm.
It's surprise.
The official announcement and pre-orders are expected to come on the 14th, which for Japan time actually would be like 3 hours from now.
Yeah.
So right after the show.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I'm not like super excited about this because I mean, that Starscream scares me. I guess so hopefully Starscream is the last of the old
price tag on that Starscream scares me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully it's the last in the old guard of Masterpiece, cuz I mean I just don't but yeah, this is the second in many more Seekers that we're going to be getting.
It's disappointing that they did, Starscream as the last one. If it turns out to be, say, the expensive masterpieces where, this new line of Masterpiece after Skids, maybe...
It's a horrible idea for them because you're going to have so many people having to buy, sets of these, and they're going to make so much money on it. It's just such a... horrible business decision. It's a great business decision. It's horrible for us.
I don't know, because it might push people off if they do shift gears and now you're getting cheaper
when you get Starscream and he crumbles in your hands, nobody's going to buy the other ones.
Yeah,
why am I going to buy 6 Seekers, at
or more,
$300 a piece when now I'm getting masterpieces for
120,
120, 150, whatever that number is.
So I'll be honest with you. I don't know. This is just me spitballing, but I don't know how many people make the decision not to buy the Masterpiece stuff. If toy A is $100 and toy B is $300, I don't know how many people make that trade-off decision, because a lot of the people who don't buy toy B aren't buying toy A and they're just buying knockoff, toy C for, $30. Uh, I'm betting that Hasbro or Takara does better when they raise prices on these than they do by having lower price tags. Just that's my guess, especially like with the way things are right now and stuff is so expensive because people are having COVID fever. That's not a good way of putting it. People are buying. Collectibles have skyrocketed in price, whether it's action figures, trading cards, comic books, whatever. More people are spending more money than ever on stuff. I don't know that Takara is hurting just because they're charging more money. So yeah, but I'm not super excited about this. I don't like
me either.
I don't like the idea of like all these Seekers anyway. The repaints at this price point. Voyager, absolutely.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, a Masterpiece, no. I'm good.
I've already done it once. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm missing a couple that I could go back and get if I really wanted to.
I even got repaints. Like I've got it all covered.
I need Acid Storm and probably Dirge. If I had to get or Ramjet or Dirge 1. So, yeah, and Sunstorm. Yeah, not buying anymore. Okay, so that is certainly something. Oh god, is there any good news? Transformers Generation Retro Headmasters Wave 1 sighted at retail. That's sort of good news.
No, it's Walmart. I'll never find it. And if I pre-order it, they'll cancel it on me.
No, I don't think this is going to be a big problem because Walmarts are now clearing out the reissue blasters, and I imagine these are going to take that spot on the planogram.
Yes, as found on Planet Houston. So, there you go.
I like the boxes, and I don't want to be that guy that buys them because I'm like, look at that box.
Rob, why don't you tell Diecast why he doesn't really like the boxes?
Yeah, I mean, if you're just buying that them because they're vintage boxes, they're not vintage boxes.
They're not.
They are
vintage inspired.
They are vintage boxes from an alternate universe where 1984 never ended. So I guess actually this universe.
I'm entirely fine with that. I like that they're different.
Given that if I get them, the boxes are probably going to get thrown out. Same as most other boxes I end up with. I don't. It will not be as crazy making in the long run if I get these as it is just to look at them online.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But and I just don't understand why. We assumed that we couldn't use Headmaster anymore, so they changed it to Titan Master. This makes me wish they just would have called him Headmaster.
Maybe they couldn't. Maybe they couldn't have at that point. Maybe they just reacquired the trademark.
No, I think Titan Masters just fit with the story they wanted to tell with.
Or maybe it just fit better with the story they were trying to tell.
Yeah.
I just wish they would have called Titan Masters Headmasters. It would have been so much better. Same toys, but better name.
This one makes me sad. Photos today started circulating of Kingdom Ultra Magnus. And it's The weird thing is, and it looks like it's intentional, that in the trailer, obviously it's got all these flaps. The first flap in the Siege version basically doesn't unfold, and the trailer is by definition then a little bit shorter, and the ugly arms that extend from the cab mode for some reason are very clearly visible in truck mode, which is really weird.
Yeah, they've modified how the trailer parts work so that the trailer sits farther back and actually looks more like a trailer than on the Siege version.
Yeah, the Cybertronian mode.
With the consequence of leaving the arms more visible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. But man, I gotta say, robot mode, looks so much better.
I do. Yeah.
I really like
I like,
it.
I like robot mode. Yeah.
It's definitely
No.
a step up without the battle damage on it, but also
That's what I was going to say.
the color balance is kind of off. Like there's a little bit too much white on the legs.
I like the thicker shoulder pylons. I don't know what the correct wording is.
People
for
say
that.
pylon. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
the
don't-
pylon thickness. He's just more of a bulky. I don't know. Seeing it next to the Siege there, like I wasn't that big on the redeco, but oh man, it looks so much better next to the Siege one.
This one though, it bugs me that the pylons aren't used in the trailer for the vehicle mode. Where it didn't bother me so much with Siege, it definitely bothers me with this.
I mean, I can see that being the case, but I'll just go for whatever makes the trailer more structurally sound.
Yeah.
And which, at least one of these pictures I think shows this trailer carrying a couple of the Studio Series 86 cars.
Yep.
So it's definitely solid enough to do that.
Yeah.
I like
hey,
it.
somebody
It's not
finally
perfect.
transformed the inner robot correctly.
Yeah,
It's not perfect, but I like it.
but it's
Yeah.
no less perfect than the Siege one was imperfect. So
Right.
just fine.
It's imperfect in different ways, but it does enough things differently from the Siege version that I like that I'm probably going to end up getting it.
Yeah.
I'll get it, especially because I don't know a lot of the one of the retailers was listing at 45, so it's
Oh
only
yeah,
$5,
Amazon.
but-
Amazon had some of the prices dialed back on the Wave 2 stuff.
yeah, which was great. Like some of the deluxes were like $16.99. I'm like,
Yeah, all my pre-orders have been updated. Everything except for the core class got rolled back a few dollars. So yeah, like $16 deluxes, $25 Voyagers, and $45 for Ultra Magnus.
it
Nice.
was like a bargain.
I just have to actually sit and wait for Amazon to get them in stock,
yeah.
which is the fastest thing sometimes.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, sometimes it surprises us because, like, Amazon started fulfilling like the core class stuff from Wave 1 long before they were expected to.
Yeah. And Double Dealer, I think, was early. And a couple other
That
things.
sounds right.
Yeah.
No, that's right. Because like I got 2 from Amazon and they were defective. I ended up sending both of them back and just getting it from Walmart
Yeah.
later. Oh, Double Dealer.
Yeah. So Netflix Wave 3 redecos leaked. I also saw that some of these are showing up as a lucky draw in like Korea.
Singapore. We
Singapore.
don't exactly know what's up with that because some people are saying that was admitted as a fraud, but I don't know if either of those things actually has any veracity behind it. And either way, that would only apply for Singapore.
Yeah.
Those sure are the margins that a bog standard household inkjet print
And
on
it's an
those
8x10
sheets, though.
sheet of
It's-
paper
yeah,
also.
true.
And those photos on there are presented like stock photos, but they're not lit like Hasbro stock photos. Take my word for it. I'm a photographer.
Okay.
No, they're lit a lot more like somebody with their own not quite studio lighting would do in trying to emulate that style, or even not really trying to emulate that style and just cutting out the backgrounds to make them look clean like that. It doesn't look quite right is basically the thing. And if that was what the accusation is that it's one of the people who leaks the stuff or supplies the stuff early, from factory quote unquote specials. So, they would have the stuff in hand to be able to take pictures like that and fake, to whatever degree, stock photos for something like this, if that indeed is what's going on. So I'm not putting any real faith into this right now. And again, it doesn't really matter for us or anybody outside of Singapore because the lucky draw, the contest prize thing with this would only apply to Singapore.
Yeah. So what we're seeing, though, are Cheetor and Ironhide redecos, Barricade redeco, and a Paleotrex redeco.
Yeah, so the Cheetor basically is like original Cheetor accurate, whereas the retail version is in wrong colors.
Yeah.
And this kind of just makes me mad.
Yeah.
Um,
Except it's missing the blue on the one spot on the leg.
Yeah, so it doesn't have quite as much paint on it as the retail version does. but like for the plastic colors it has and the deco in the cheetah mode, what we can infer of that from this robot picture, like it's better and more accurate to original Cheetors than what the retail product is. So it's a little bit of a trade-off, but like if I have to pick between one set of plastic colors, I want the Netflix ones, not the Cheetor I have. The Ironhide seems to be based loosely on the Quintesson Troopers from Earthrise cartoon.
Yeah.
Loosely. And then what I'm hearing is that the rusty colored barricade is a Sparkless or one of the zombies from that one Siege episode.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And the clear Paleo Trex might be part of Spoiler Pack 3. So what I'm hearing about that is it's going to be the $60 price point still, but it's going to be a Voyager and a Fossilizer instead of a Leader and a Battlemaster. Because there are no Battlemasters now.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. If I want to spend $60, I would rather have a leader.
Yes, well, the rumor I've heard is that the Voyager that's going to be in the spoiler pack is Earthrise Megatron.
Yeah, I'd definitely rather have a leader.
So, like, Megatron and then the clear purple Paleo Trex, which, you know, you get the mace out of that, and it's supposed to be, like, the Energon mace.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah, so, that's a third one of those I'll be skipping. Although I do like the clear plastic fossilizer.
It's nice looking, yeah.
That's a cool look. And if that was a thing I could buy by itself, I would. You know, like a Dark Energon dinosaur fossil, that's like totally up my alley conceptually. But yeah, so like 3 deluxes we're seeing here, that's got to be more than half of the third deluxe assortment for the Netflix line. The only thing we're not seeing here is, you know, the specifics of the Megatron from that leader spoiler pack and the 2 Voyagers we know of, which is going to be Seeker and an Optimus Primal. But, like, this is a fairly substantial part of the next Netflix assortment leaked already.
Sadness.
You know, I remember when the Optimus Prime Megatron battle with the axe and the mace was considered like a deep cut. That was considered like, oh, if you reference that, you're really like, you know.
Oh, yeah, so like
pulling out the obscure stuff.
I remember in 2001, the Robots in Disguise cartoon called one of the locations they went to Sherman Dam as a reference to that.
Yeah.
And Alt Toys Transformers kind of went nuts over that because, like, wow, they referenced that thing from the one time in G1. And yeah, now it's just like, yep, if we got a Megatron and Optimus, they're going to have an axe and a mace at some point.
And they'll quote Transformers the movie. Yep. Okay. Any other news? I was going to say breathtaking Bumblebee. That should be that should be the name of it. Buzzworthy Bumblebee stuff is shipping. Yeah, there's more stuff that's hitting retail or more stuff that's showing up than I expected.
Yeah, so we knew about the Studio Series Deluxe assortment that was being branded with that, which is basically all reruns, although one of them is like a first shot at a mold that's going to be in a later regular assortment. So that's just kind of like weird timing stuff. Of course, there's the Bumblebee and Spike 2 pack, which we'll talk about in a little bit here. They reissued the movie Masterpiece Volkswagen Bumblebee to go along with this. I saw that in a few places.
Yeah, actually, I kind of want to get that.
It just is kind of it kind of hurts because like you could find those last Christmas of 2019 at Ross for $25, and now they're at Target again for $70 or $80, I forget. Somewhere in that price range, but yeah, they're expensive. And then we also found out that there's some Cyberverse repacks for Buzzworthy Bumblebee. So like it's kind of hitting, you know, everything it can, which was basically what I was expecting of it when we first started hearing about it. Just based on the package style, it looked like they're going to cover all lines in this. That's why it has like evergreen based packaging with just a generic branding, Buzzworthy Bumblebee.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's showing up pretty much everywhere now. It looks like at Target.
And yeah, we do have it verified as Target exclusive, not through an official announcement, but somebody found a little bit of signage in store for that, just saying, exclusively at Target. They brought that to my attention through our Discord, tfradio.net/Discord.
Cool.
Which is what we expected.
Yeah, I mean, we were able to infer that based on everything we could see and how none of this was showing up or being mentioned anywhere else, but like that is, explicit confirmation. So
Yeah.
Hey, Target exclusives that we don't have to fight over.
because we don't want most of, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the big problem I've found with Buzzworthy Bumblebee when I've been out over the last week looking for other stuff is it's choking out a lot of space that would otherwise be going
It
to...
sure is.
So Studio Series 86, the Voyagers and Deluxes are showing up at Targets in the US. I got some Deluxes and saw the Voyagers in some of my area stores here. The problem is there's so much Buzzworthy Bumblebee Studio Series stuff out on the pegs because it's the exclusive stuff. It's taking the same peg space as the regular Studio Series, so I only found one Jazz and 2 Blurs between 2 Targets that actually had Studio Series in stock. So it is not without its problems that it's causing for being such a large volume of exclusives. And in that way, it's reminding me of 2004, I want to say, when Walmart took on piles of Transformers Universe branded exclusives, which ended up sitting on, mostly not selling for a while, and then canceling a bunch of other exclusives that were lined up. But it was choking out like mainline Energon stuff too because of the shelf space that was taking up. It feels a lot like that situation again.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because I live in the Wayback Machine of my own sort, just like Don does. But yeah, I guess that's kind of going to roll us into what we got this week.
Go ahead, Chris.
So I did pick up the Buzzworthy Bumblebee Spike and Bumblebee 2-pack. I got it in vehicle mode here, and it certainly is just Bumper's vehicle mode. Or Bumble Jumper, depending on how old you are. So for reference, Bumper was a third Autobot minicar mold from the Micro Change line that did not officially get brought over with Transformers in G1, but ended up mispackaged on some Cliff Jumper cards in Bumblebee colors, and that just was its own thing. And eventually it got canonized as Bumper through comic books. But this vehicle is very close to what that looks like. The robot mode is just generic Autobot minicar appearance, basically, with a Bumblebee head. So, like, there's nothing, like, super telling about that. But if they release this again with a different head on it and sold it as Bumper, I would not be remotely surprised to see that be the case. Now, the interesting thing with this is handling it. I was calling this a core class toy. It doesn't feel like a core class toy. It does not feel like Rat Trap or Optimus. It feels like a completely different thing. It has the same thing where like it feels like a miniaturized deluxe in some respects. But the way it's engineered and in a sense the build quality, I don't want to say the materials are substandard because I don't believe that's the case, but just something about the way it's put together feels very different than the core class figures I've handled so far. And this feels like it is its own little unique thing. So, like, it's branded as War for Cybertron trilogy within the Buzzworthy Bumblebee subline, but I don't necessarily think this is something that was designed to be a mainline toy. This might actually be uniquely designed for this exclusive lineup. It doesn't mean it won't turn up again later in another use, but, like, this might be what this was originally intended for. Now, the Bumblebee figure itself is pretty decent. It's, comparable in articulation and generally build quality to a core class toy, but it's smaller and just not quite there. But it's a solid, competent little toy for the most part. And then it comes with this little Spike figure, which does basically nothing. It's bigger than a Titan Master, but not quite as big as a Micromaster or Battle Master. I'll use that as the point of comparison because they're the same height. So you can see the Micromaster is a little bit bigger. Not by a whole lot, but just a little bit taller and chunkier. Yeah. Now, of course, Battle Masters and Micromasters are more physically complicated because all that moves on this is the arms swivel at the shoulders and the backpack hinges up or down depending what mode you wanted. And when I say mode, I just mean whether you have it standing up or laying down, because for the transport mode, you just lay it down and fold the backpack back, and that's the transformation on that. So it's certainly not the most interesting or involved thing around, but another little exosuit toy to have around, along with the one that came with my Headmaster RC and my Legends Bumblebee. So that's 3 different kinds of exosuits I have now.
Yeah, I was about to ask. You were talking about the scale. How does it scale next to the one with Headmaster RC? Because I have a feeling for a Spike and a Daniel that should work out fairly well.
Let me see if I can dig RC out, because it should be over here next to me, as most things are. I hope the head's still on it. Yes, it is. Okay. All right. Let me decapitate RC. And unfold. Okay. So for those watching video,
Interesting.
I think the Titan Master is a little bit too small for that purpose. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Considering
It's a little bit far off.
he's supposed to be wearing Spike's exosuit, so they should be pretty much the same size.
I think the 2 exosuits were intended in the movie to be the same size as each other.
I remember Daniels as being a little bit shorter. I may be misremembering, but I thought he was like maybe a head shorter than Spike.
I think you're right.
Definitely not that much shorter than Spike.
Yeah.
No, definitely not like that.
That's like different species.
Hey, Chris. There's one thing I wanted to mention, if I could.
Yeah.
For those people who don't know about Bumble Jumper, our friend Chris McFeely, who does the basics,
Yeah, that's a good
his
point.
obscure character month is Bumble Jumper for last week's episode. So if you're not familiar with the history of the character, he does have a very good the basics on YouTube talking about the odd history of the figure and the character.
And Rob also has a blog post on the RFC site about basically the toy characteristic differences between Bumblebee, Cliffjumper, and Bumper in the G1 mini cars. So that's also worth going and looking up and reading up on that.
Yeah, and also how I think it could have happened that we wound up with bumpers coming out in the U.S. in small amounts. So,
Hey, while before Chris gets to his next item, on a on a toy North Carolina local group that I'm on, it looks like those Headmasters at Walmart have hit North Carolina, so they're probably just about everywhere at this point.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No longer just Planet Houston.
Okay, so I did get 2 of the Studio Series 86 figures. So I'll start with Blur. And so my summary version of this is, if you have the Takara Legends Blur, the Headmaster one, stick with that. It's a better toy. Not by a whole lot, maybe, but I do actually like it better than this. So there's not like a whole lot of difference between them in terms of like how they look. And in some respects, you might say this is better. Like, for sure, if you don't want the head to have to be removable for transformation, this one has an edge because it does stay on. The whatever you want to call these engine pod pieces on the back of the forearm are bigger on here, and they don't really like lock in place.
Boo.
I don't know if they're supposed to, because on the inside there is like a tab and slot situation here where it feels like that should be kind of wedging in there, but it does not at all. So I don't know if that's like a tolerance thing that ended up not working in practice or what's up with that. Like, for this, I would say the biggest draw is if all you ever had access to was the Hasbro version of Titan's Return Blur, this is an upgrade based on the colors alone, and it sticks fairly close to how that was engineered. I just don't like it quite as much. One thing it definitely does not do as well as the Titan's Return mold. So in vehicle mode, Blur is supposed to be a hovercraft. The Titan's Return toy executed that in an interesting way by having the little roller wheels set inside toward the center line of the vehicle, where you couldn't really see them when you have the vehicle sitting on a surface. So you have the illusion of it hovering there, but it can also roll along. With this in vehicle mode, the feet and part of the shoulder structure sits flat underneath the vehicle to lift it up off of whatever surface it's on, but there's no wheel, so it can't roll along. It looks sort of like it's floating, but it can't really like hover and move. Like you're only getting about half the illusion with it. It's not a bad toy by any stretch, but like it doesn't feel like an upgrade. It's a lateral move at best for what I have in my own collection already. But for other people, like I think people with different experience will be a little bit probably more satisfied with this. It's just not quite hitting the buttons for me. It's not bad by any stretch. It's just not like wowing me. Then I also was able to pick up Jazz. Jazz is interesting. So, like the big question I've been asked is like, how does it compare to Reveal the Shield Jazz, which I've long championed as like one of the peaks of Transformers car design. And I don't think it's going to dethrone that, but it's not bad at all. Like, for sure, it's the best Jazz we've had since Reveal the Shield. Which admittedly is not a high bar because since then we've had like the original War for Cybertron or Fall of Cybertron one, which was pretty terrible, and we had the Power of the Primes one, which was also pretty terrible. This is solid in both modes. It's easy to transform. It handles nicely. The face, if I can get the focus for anybody who's watching the video, there we go. It's a really good representation of what Jazz looked like in the cartoon. Like, I would call that a really successful interpretation of the cartoon head design. More than any other Jazz toy I think we've had. The cutouts in the shoulders for the wheels to flip in for transformation is still unfortunate, but that's kind of the worst of it. And even the backpack it has, where the roof and doors of the car are all tucked in there, is not really that intrusive. And the process to get all of that compressed up is very simple and pretty intuitive and elegant. Like, it's not amazingly innovative in any way, but what it's doing, it does nicely. The car mode looks really nice, with the exception of the robot feet sticking out like a shelf from the back of the car, which, like, I feel like there had to be some other way to handle that other than having that just stick out like a sore thumb. I was mentioning this in Discord this afternoon. I'm really surprised there is not Porsche licensing or branding on the packaging, because like this vehicle mode is just the Porsche 935, which is what Jazz was. Like, it is so damn close to the real world car. I cannot believe that they got this out without licensing it.
Yet.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I was thinking of that too, because in the original Robots in Disguise, this is like the fourth callback to this episode, all naturally occurring. No, in the original Robots in Disguise, Sideburn was Dodge Viper, and the original release of that was not licensed because Takara didn't even license it, as far as I remember. But the Dodge saw this toy, or somebody reported it back to them, and they got on with Hasbro and was like, yeah, no, this is too close to our trademark. You're going to have to either stop selling it or pay us to keep selling it. And so they licensed it. And then as a running change, the original Deco one got the licensing added to the packaging and a Dodge Viper logo tampoed on the car.
And every time the toy...
Super Sideburn came out with that from the beginning.
And whatever universe version there was...
Yeah.
I had it too. So about Jazz, I'm really looking forward to it. I do love the Reveal the Shield toy, not as much as you do, but I think that'll be my Jazz, and the Studio Series will be my Monka Spanka figure.
Yeah, I can see that. 5 Faces of Darkness.
Love it.
But no, like, again, I don't think it's going to dethrone Reveal the Shield Jazz for me, but it's really nice. It's a good execution of Jazz, and I think So Reveal the Shield Jazz, I think for me is still like the ideal expression of the Autobot car design and transformation in an updated form. And the Datsuns in Earthrise came close to duplicating that kind of feel. And Jazz is just a tiny little bit behind those Datsuns. So like it's all closely bunched together, but Reveal the Shield Jazz is still leader of the pack for how this transformation style is being expressed and realized in a modern form, and the Datsuns are still doing a little bit better than this, but like being third place in this race is not that bad, honestly.
Well, he actually won. He won the race. He came in first.
Yeah,
Blur,
Marcus Spanko won.
and Blur was pissed because he wasn't there.
Yeah. So Hey Mickey had asked me about this when he saw that I had bought this, what I thought about it compared to Reveal the Shield Jazz, because Hey Mickey is very familiar with my adoration for that mold. And basically what I said was, I don't think I'm going to go all in on this Jazz mold, but like I would definitely buy a Ricochet / Stepper made off of this. Whereas with Reveal the Shield, I bought every single version I could, practically. But like this, I'd get the Ricochet version, but anything else, probably I would not be like super eager to drop another 20 on.
Okay.
So this is good. I'm not disappointed with it at all. And I think most people who are not just like, bewitched by the beauty that is Reveal the Shield Jazz, like I've been for the last decade, will be very, very pleased with this.
Cool.
And then on the Kingdom front, I was able to find Optimus Primal. Which completes my wave 1.
I'm really curious about your thoughts on this one.
So the ape mode's fine. So like having it standing upright is a little bit awkward because you kind of get this flap hanging off the back. Yeah, a butt flap at an angle, so like it doesn't look remotely natural. Of course, nothing about the lower body of this looks all that natural anyway. But like, I appreciate they engineered the joints specifically so he could do the upright stance and not look terrible. Because something the original toy never could do. And even the 10th anniversary Optimus Primal was not designed to do this, really. Go ahead.
So the reason, though, that he would stand upright is because he stood upright in the show, right?
Yes.
But he wasn't a realistic-looking gorilla in the show. But now he's a realistic-looking gorilla, so I don't see the point.
Although, apparently, real-life gorillas are able to stand up.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
Right on their... Like, they don't walk around like Optimus Primal did,
No.
but, there is a real-life basis for having this toy also be able to do an upright stance like this. It just also is mainly geared because the character would do that in the show.
Yeah.
The quadrupedal stance is a little bit more natural looking, and that's where you really get the benefits of how the beast mode is engineered, because the head is super articulated compared to any other retail Optimus Primal we've had. So there's a specific hinge so it can look left and right. You can move it up and down. There's a swivel joint in here you can kind of maneuver in beast mode. So you can get a lot of range out of this. The posing is more natural when he's on all fours. And the butt flap isn't nearly as awkward then either. The main thing I dislike about this is the amount of force and how you have to apply it to open the torso to do the head swap or to flip the cannons out in robot mode. Because that just feels like you're going to break something. I've done it several times, so I know I'm not going to break something, but every time it feels like something's going to give before it just, hinges out of the way. It doesn't feel like a right thing to do. The robot chest, I'm not super a fan of because it's the ape's chest flipped around, which is inaccurate to how Optimus Primal was designed, because even in the show, the chest plate was the backside of the gorilla head flipped around. So it's not supposed to be flush with the chest like it is on this toy. And it also has some gaps around it because of the shape of the piece they're using, which is not great. But apart from that, the robot mode is pretty nice. It poses well. It looks expressive. They captured Optimus Primal's head design really, really well. They definitely got the robot more show accurate than they got the monkey. The monkey is much more a realistic monkey design. One thing I started thinking about too when I was looking at this is that the Netflix one, like just like Cheetor, is more accurate to the show appearance and the original toy. I wonder if the Netflix Optimus Primal might be all dark on the face and chest to look like Optimus did in the show originally. Because this coloration is more accurate to the original toy. So that might be one thing they would change rather than having him just be like, a damn dirtier ape, as I keep joking. I do like the pop-up arm cannons. It's a little bit awkward to do with my bigger fingers because it's just a little notch in the bottom that you push up to get those to come out. And I can't quite push it all the way up with any of my fingers, but like I can get most of the way up and then pull it the rest of the way from the top. And then they hinge up and down too, so you can get a little bit of different firing arc out of it. And if you have a bigger blast effect piece to plug on there too, that gives you more room for that. And one thing I really liked, I can't actually get to it right now, but I plugged that missile launch blast effect from Cyberverse Starscream onto the arm cannons, and from the right angle, that looks really, really good. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any blast effects I have around that are narrow enough to be able to plug two of them onto one arm cannon. And since they are double cannons on both arms, like you can't really show it with both of them looking like they're firing, which is a little bit disappointing to me. And then the swords are very similar to the ones that came with the original toy or would have come with the Masterpiece, etc. And then they just tab onto the back of the gorilla or robot, depending. And the hands are hinged. They have hinged fingers, and the wrist swivel too. So there's good posing there. And it's like with Kingdom Earthrise Optimus Prime, where it's the 5mm channel in the hand, and then the fingers close around that. So it's a secure hold no matter what. But you can also have him hold more awkward shaped things if you want to, such as if you have some bananas around. He could totally hold a banana.
Where's my
I have
banana?
bananas.
Yeah. No, overall, it's pretty nice. It's a little bit small for a Voyager, as we've expected, but it's pretty solid. Decent articulation. The joints on mine are really, really tight. In some cases, tighter than the connected transformation joints, which is a little bit of an issue, but it just means I have to know where I'm holding on to when I'm trying to pose one of the limbs so I don't get the wrong half of the knee going. It's nothing crippling, and it's nothing that's going to break because it's so tight. I'd like if it was a little bit smoother to move, but it's not the end of the world by any stretch. Oh, what else did I get? Oh, yeah. So because I have a problem, I ended up buying Netflix Alita. It's because I have a problem, but also because Walmart got in more of these deluxes, and this batch of Alita 1 had the shoulders assembled correctly.
Oh, cool.
Oh, I never checked mine yet.
Me neither.
Yeah. So the some of the Alitas that are out there have the big side of the rivet on the front of the shoulder, and the shoulder piece itself is smooth across the front. This one, it's probably not going to show very well on the webcam, but there's a little depression in the center of the shoulder, a little cavity, and the small side of the rivet sticks through there, and that's how it's supposed to be assembled, because there's the little spikes on the shoulder, and when it's assembled this way, there's a channel along the collar that the spike can fit into to let the arm pivot out a little bit farther. If it's assembled backward, that doesn't line up and the arm can't move out as far. So it's a minor thing. It's mostly cosmetic. But, since I saw these and they're still $17.88 instead of the full $20, I decided to go ahead and just get it and prolong my suffering. So that's all that's on topic. Now, off-topic stuff is it's not entirely birthday related stuff. So thanks to Don, I have the NECA Wrath of Krang, the NECA Krang's android body figure. So thank you for that, Don.
It's an
I don't
awesome
know if I'm ever
figure.
going to open it, but I have it and I wanted it, and it tickles my nostalgia.
You should open it.
Yeah.
I may well. I still have the Shredder and Krang Bubble Walker 2-pack that Don also sent me many moons ago, which I also haven't opened. So maybe one day I'll have a NECA Turtle opening party. And then on the birthday side of things, thanks to Blade Raider, I have another set of Tamashii Effect rocks. So this is the brown rocks version. I had previously bought the gray ones through like a warehouse deals discount, and then like leveraging a bunch of Amazon credit I had. And I forgot how heavy a box of Tamashii rocks is. It's like having a box of real rocks. These are the brown ones, which will go with the Tamashii Effect crater that someone else had sent me off of my wish list some time back. So that'll be good for some kind of like. Actually, it'll probably be good for these Beast Wars figures for posing them. If I can get like some kind of brown gravelly surface them to use with. I'll have to look into that. Also, for my birthday from my wish list, my friend Misty sent me Denji Sentai Mega Ranger on DVD. Now, I can't from the 90s Sentai. I can't really pick out like a favorite Super Sentai series. But like Mega Ranger, Kaku Ranger, they're like way up there in the top, and I love Die Ranger's really good too. I don't see that's the thing. That's why I can't pick one favorite out of the 90s
They're
Sentai.
all
Because,
good.
like, from 1992 through 2000, all of those Sentai series are basically excellent, with the exception of Go-Go 5, which is sadly kind of boring, but has really good gear and equipment designs and miniatures work. So it stands out that way, but it's definitely more worth watching as Lightspeed Rescue. But like all of those series are just generally so good, it's impossible to pick out one favorite. But I love Mega Ranger a lot. So I'm really happy with this. I had gotten Jew Ranger on DVD a little while back from Paladin, and I've been watching through that because I haven't been able to watch that for several years. And like that's been really enjoyable too. Like 90s Sentai, man, is just such a good time. There's been good Sentai since then, don't get me wrong, but like 90s Sentai, that's like the peak of the art.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just like such a long stretch of consistent quality where every single series is doing something different, but they're all doing generally pretty well. Like again, Go-Go 5 is the outlier there, but like everything else around that.
I even like that one.
Yeah, and a lot of people do. It just like it never quite caught me the way I wanted it to. But like, one exception to prove the rule of all the other ones, like, I'll live with that. Because I can live with that. Yeah, 90 Sentai, man. That's just it's fantastic. Like everybody should check that out. I think Shout Factory is still streaming all their Sentai library for free on their website. So like,
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely worth going and checking out some random episodes because like most of Super Sentai is episodic. You can jump in somewhere in the middle of a given series and probably be just fine. And don't worry, if you jump in the middle of Kaku Ranger, no, it didn't make any sense. It didn't make any more sense than that if you started at the beginning. And I believe that's all I got this week.
Cool. Let's see here.
30 minutes later.
Diecast. You look
Yeah.
tired. Do you have anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, I got some stuff. I don't remember all what I got within the last 2 weeks, but I got a couple things handy.
Open
I
that.
got Megatron.
Oh yeah, open that.
Should I? Is it a good figure or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I heard one of my friends said he wasn't really happy with it, so.
It's got a couple of little things that don't thrill me. Some of the panels, like I think I mentioned when I got it, some of the panels on the tail may actually be warpable depending on how you fold them when you transform it. But beyond that, it is a really nice figure.
Gotcha. And I also got today, thanks to my friend Rob, Optimus Primal, the
Cool.
Voyager.
Nice.
So I loved the Optimus Primal Masterpiece figure. Thought it was really good. So I'm interested to see how this compares to the Masterpiece figure. Because it's a figure I like. Like Hot Rod, like a lot of people are comparing the 86 Hot Rod to like Masterpiece Hot Rod, but none of us really cared a whole lot about the Masterpiece Hot Rod. So it's like I want to compare a new, generation style figure, which is what this is, to a Masterpiece that I really like and see like, is Masterpiece really worth it? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I also got the only Bumblebee in the Buzzworthy that I was somewhat interested in, and that's 74
Studio Series.
And that's Chris's fault because he said this is the new mold.
Yeah.
So this is the only new mold in the Studio Series that's in the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line. The that's a lot of bees.
The line sure is.
And I'm a big fan of the Bumblebee Camaro. I'm tired of these figures. Like, I don't think they can do anything else that we haven't seen in these previous figures. Like, there's no new innovation that's going to make me like really want another Bumblebee movie figure. I'm sure a lot of people are starting to feel that way. But it is officially licensed. It's got the little GM logo in it.
And I think a lot of people have felt that way for a long time, Diecast.
Yeah. I didn't catch the fatigue as much as some of the other people, but now I'm starting to feel it, and kind of makes me wonder why they're still pushing those figures.
Yeah.
It is noteworthy. I think that we finally hit your threshold on this. That's interesting.
Yeah. And then off topic, I got the Armorer for Mandalorian.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's all I.
Who else? Don.
I got some. Okay, Don.
Okay, sorry, Rob.
No worries.
Got an eclectic mix here on both off topic and on topic. Just because I've wanted some plastic crack lately. Picked up Lightning Collection Green Ranger. Good looking figure.
Is that Tommy?
Again, it'll go. Yeah, Tommy.
Yeah.
It'll go on my shelf of stuff I don't really collect, but it looks cool. It's good looking.
He
good looking
doesn't have
figure.
the white. He doesn't have the white diamonds, right?
The what?
He doesn't have the white diamonds.
Does
on
he
his
have the
chest.
fife or whatever he had?
The dragon dagger? Yes.
Yeah, Dragon Dagger, the evil sword, and the sword effect. No, I didn't know that, but it's still a nice figure. It'll look good on the shelf.
Yeah, if you're never going to take it out of
Also
the box, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll
Also
still be
picked up
wrong.
Marvel Legends. Yeah. Also picked up the Marvel Legends, the Mike Morales figure from the Stiltman wave. I really didn't want most of these figures other than him and Gwen is all I really wanted. But I picked up that.
I just want
Picked
Stiltman.
up. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Picked up the Battle Armor He-Man. That was new. I thought that was a really good looking figure. Thought I'd pick that up. And my most unexpected. Oh, hey, Massey. Hey, boy.
Massey.
No, Massey is not doing really well right now. He's not really sick, but he has something in his eye. We're not sure if he scratched his eye. He has an infection. So we're having to give him some drops. Probably going to take him to the VET tomorrow. Just have him look at his eye. So, I mean, he's eating and everything else. It's just, he's not up to snuff right now, but he's a good boy. Picked up when I was up in Roanoke on Monday. Haven't been stopped by GameStop because they've got a big GameStop up there because Common Rider belts have been showing up at some GameStops, and so maybe some of the being a bigger store up there near the mall location, they didn't. But I did pick up one of the probably the only G.I. Joe statue I'll ever plan on buying when I got the Cobra Commander.
Okay.
I got the Cobra Commander, Classic Commander.
That's nice.
It was on sale. It was on sale. I got about $15 off retail, because none of the classified figures are really doing it for me for Cobra Commander, and he has such a great. It's a very simple, clean look, but it's really impressive. So I went ahead and picked that up. On topic. Yes, I'm going on topic. Is that okay? Okay. Picked up again. I got Buzzworthy Bumblebee, and I was able to get the second one for you, Rob. I'm going to get that out in the next day or two.
Oh, thank you.
Got that. Yeah, it's been crazy the last week or so. Picked
No
up
worries.
that. Picked up Core Class. Got Rat Trap and Vertebrate, which is nice to see them use this name again, since they hadn't used it since Transformers Prime for the Predacons.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Don, Buddy is here to talk to Massey, by the way.
Did pick up the deluxes for Kingdom. Got those. Those came in locally, and looking forward to diving into those. Really looking to diving into Warpath and Black Arachnia. That's the two of the four that I'm really looking forward to. There's that. Picked up Cyclonus and Optimus Primal. Got those from a CMD store when they were shipped a few weeks ago, and wanted to go ahead and get those, especially with the Cyclonus, hearing so many good things about that. And I've got Scourge, so I was looking forward to trying to completing that whenever the Galvatron comes out. Wave 3. Picked up the Cyberverse Deluxes. I really wasn't going to get Starscream, but thanks to Target's website having Prowl's picture with Starscream's bio and Starscream's bio with Prowl's picture, I figured I better order one of each to figure out, make sure I get I only wanted Prowl, but from what I've seen, the Starscream has a really great, interesting transformation. So I'm looking forward, but really, Target, do we really need the giant barcode on the front?
Yes.
I mean,
Those
just really.
usually peel off non-destructively.
Yeah. Prowl looks really good. He doesn't look like a typical just black and white Prowl. I like the color breakup on him. So that looks pretty interesting. Also, I got it. This is part one of a 2 shipment, again, from Target when they had the buy one, get one half off on figures. I was able to get the... I've got the X-Men Blackbird figure on order, but because of that, it triggered half off on Ectotron, the Afterlife Ectotron version. So I went ahead and picked that up. And, of course, we all knew it was coming. Masterpiece RC.
Which also has a sticker
because Amazon Japan finally had them in stock that they would ship. Got it for $115 plus 12 or 13 shipped, which was a bit cheaper than most anyone else in the US. So I'm looking forward to diving into that. I also forgot, off topic, I picked up the Marvel Legends Retro Classic Black Cat. I left her out in the car, but I picked her up as well, just because it's from that spectacular Spider-Man, the Fox Kids Spider-Man that I enjoyed so much.
So 2 things. First, the Amazon Japan barcode stickers actually are printed in Japanese, saying this sticker peels off without damaging the packaging.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And,
I did not know that.
I wanted to ask you, Don, what Kamen Rider belt were you looking for or hoping to find?
Well, they've got the Complete Selection double belt, and that was the main one. They've also got the Lost Driver, and the Dino belt has never been one of my favorites because it's just almost no interaction at all. It's just wave the card and make the noise. But it's like $60 for a complete Kamen Rider belt, so it's like it'd be fun. It'd be nice to get for that price.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in the case of the Deno belt, it's the era before like they went heavy with collectible gimmicks. So like that is basically the level of interaction you get.
Right.
Which if you don't want to spend $500 completing something, quote unquote, like that's the era to shoot for.
Yeah, other than that, it's just the complete selection double drivers are pretty much the only one I would really want to get. But every time it's gone on sale, it's been out of stock, and it's back in stock, but it's $200. So
That's a complete
I have to wait
selection
and see
for
on
you.
that one. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
I got the
But that's
super best double driver, and it's the same functionality. It's just not an adult sized belt part of it. So
Right.
it's a fun thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Rob,
Okay, had I gotten Netflix Bumblebee the last time we actually did a show?
not that I recall.
No, I think you mentioned getting that when we were in between segments on the year in review episode.
Yeah. Okay. Well, many thanks to Wheeljack64 who sent me Netflix Bumblebee at the beginning of December, and it finally showed up about a week ago. And yeah, that is a really nice figure, and it looks good. It's pretty much everything I wanted a modern Volkswagen Bug Bumblebee to be. So that's that's a character that between that and the Buzzworthy one that just looked neat, I think I can pretty well say I'm done with for a good while. Also, thanks to Don, who back in early December mailed me Run Amok, I think it is. And that showed up recently as well. I'd gotten Runabout already, so I knew pretty much what the mold was about. I think I'm doing something wrong because I cannot get that windshield to tab down in vehicle mode on either of them very effectively. So there must be just something I haven't quite gotten down about that. But they do look good in robot mode, and they'll look fine in car mode once I can get that part done properly.
Cool.
But
The robot mode is the better of the two modes anyway.
yeah. Beyond that, Walmart surprised me for a second time and actually sent me Gigawatt, and surprised me a little bit less in that they sent it in a box that was too small and the card's a little bent. I wasn't really too concerned about the card, so I'd be a little bit more upset if I had gotten the limited edition one. I did not.
Geez, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a bad figure. I feel like I'm doing something wrong because I feel like the arms should tab down, and they just, because of where the tires are, they just don't seem to. And again, maybe I'm doing something wrong, but that's the experience I've had. Otherwise, though, nice use of the sideswipe engineering. Looks good in all its various modes, and yeah, really happy with that. Lastly, I did get one off-topic thing, which is due to various shipping issues. My Christmas gift from my brother was a little bit late. I got the high-grade silver bullet suppressor, which is my favorite in just utterly stupid mobile suit designs, because it has a beam rifle that in the story is so powerful that it overloads and destroys the arm whenever it is fired. So the way they fix this is the model kit has a working crane mechanism and a backpack full of arms, so that it can replace its arm for every shot of the 5-shot magazine on that beam rifle. The kit has 3 dummy arms and 1 fully functional backup arm to go in the backpack, so you can actually put a functional replacement arm with it using the crane on its back. And yeah, it's a really nice model. It's based on a variation of a thing that was a variation of a thing, so it's got like leftover parts for 2 or 3 different model kits in the box. That is not uncommon with some Bandai kits. But yeah, I put it on my Amazon wish list just because I loved that concept. It was just ridiculous. And yes, in practice, in person, it is absolutely ridiculous, and I am just so happy to have it.
Welcome to
I
pre
never want to hear
F91
anybody's. Yeah, I never want to hear anybody put down Tryon 3 for being a ridiculous Gundam design again.
Well, as a Gundam design, Tryon 3 is ridiculous, but it's not. It's a very super robot kind of ridiculous, as opposed to this quote unquote more practical kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, Tryon 3 knows exactly what it's trying to be.
Yeah. It's dumb. It's super robot dumb on purpose. The silver bullet suppressor is quote unquote realistic dumb by accident.
I still don't understand how, like, within the setting, a designer wasn't just like, why don't we just build a stronger arm?
I think it was kind of just as I understand it, was just kind of a like field thing that was thrown together more or less because they wanted to be able to use the beam magnum, but they also for some reason needed to keep the unicorn Gundam like tucked away somewhere. It is the way I understand it.
So they thought it was a better idea to just like load it down with 5 extra arms in its backpack instead of like field building an arm that's strong enough to take the rifle.
Mm-hmm. Apparently so.
Apparently the announcement and pre-orders for Masterpiece 52 plus Thundercracker are up now.
Huh.
Yay.
But yeah, I mean, Gundam narrative, which is where this shows up, is just I've heard is just fairly ridiculous in and of itself. So I haven't even gotten to Unicorn yet, so narrative I don't know from.
I haven't watched narrative, but like, yeah, the F91 was its own kind of ridiculous in a way with where it took mobile suit technology, but it feels like this is trying to really like usurp that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Matt.
That is everything I got this week.
Okay, I do not have a lot. I did get the Buzzworthy Bumblebee 2-pack with Spike and Bumblebee. I am not crazy about the Bumblebee. Just has the rear quarter panels just hanging off his back in robot mode. There's absolutely nothing you can do with them. But, I mean, for a figure this small, there's going to be some kibble.
Mm-hmm.
I got Kingdom Vertebrake. And I like him. I will definitely get some more skeletal dinosaur guys whenever I see them, but I'm still not really, venturing out very often. So may be a while before I add any more. And I got my Corden and Spin Out pack finally, and they are wonderful. The white paint on Corden's chest could be a little bit thicker, like there's a little bleed through there, but it's fine. It's not nearly as bad as the mismatched yellows on Sunstreaker. And Spin Out's fine. All the reds match up actually pretty well. So I'm super happy with that purchase. I love them both. And no off topic this week. So
wow.
Cool.
Yeah, I forgot to mention my replacement Corden Spin Out that I ordered from Big Bad came also since our last real show.
John.
Let's see. I didn't get anything new per se. I did open most of Studio Series 86. So just a couple things to point out. One, I do think that Hot Rod is a low-key scam. I really do think that he's the Trojan horse. Like they slipped a deluxe-ish size toy right by us at a higher price point. Yeah, he does have more engineering. Yeah, he does have accessories. But in some way, they're planting the seed. I tell you, they're planting the seed for a 6-inch, 5.5-inch tall, $30 toy. I'm telling you right now. Anyway, he is very nice, despite him conditioning us for another price hike. He's especially really nice with the head sculpt. To the point where he really kind of highlights how weird and not good Cup and Blur's head sculpts are. Like Hot Rod is perfect. Blur and Cup are strange.
Weird.
Yes. So I don't know what's.
They seem to have sculpted Cup's face for that one very specific scene where he's been torn apart by a squid.
Yeah, and his box art goes with that, as John has noted on Twitter.
Yes, it's very strange. Jazz's head sculpt, very nice. And like XV said earlier, I'm perfectly happy with this coexisting with Reveal the Shield Jazz because they're doing completely different things. Specifically, I don't need another cartoon Jazz. This is very clearly a very nice cartoon Jazz, while Reveal the Shield Jazz, I think, is more of like Apex Jazz toy, and so
Yeah.
they're doing different things. So I'm cool.
Reveal the Shield Jazz is basically alternity Jazz.
Yeah. They're very successful in two different ways. So so I'm cool there. And then the only thing left really for me to open with Studio is Blur. So I'll get to him eventually. And then the only fossilizers I have so far are Vertebrake, and this week I opened Paleotrex. I really dig them. They do feel like they're from something completely different. Like they're just kind of like thrown into this line, but that's cool. I'll take any new idea in the main Transformers line that I can take. And I do think they're really cool and promising. And I hope that they don't, I fear they're like a road to nowhere. Like, I don't know, like how much more fossilizer we're going to get after Kingdom, which is a shame because, on second or third try, I think it would be really neat to have this like Bone Age twist on Transformers, but I like them, and that is it for this week.
Okay, I'm gonna just quickly run through what I got, just so that I say that I did. NECA Krang, thanks to John, who found me one a couple weeks ago. I picked this one up at my Target today, so picking Don, I love you, but yeah, Don is sending me the one that he got me. He's been busy, but I did find my Target. Well, I say my Target. I moved. Well, it used to be my Target. They had like 15 of them, so it looks really awesome. Super stoked about that. Other off-topic thing, I didn't even realize this was available right now. That Target had Panther from Masters of the Universe Origins, so looking forward to that. A lot of stuff that I didn't open yet. Cyberverse Starscream Deluxe. I'm looking forward to that one.
It really punches above its price point in terms of how the transformation is engineered.
Yeah. I got this from Amazon back in December, but I donated the one that I got to Toys for Tots since I already had a free one from Hasbro. But I picked up another Kingdom Core Class Optimus Prime, which I really love that toy, so I wanted one mint and sealed box, mint and sealed card. This is my sealed copy of this. I also got one earlier of Buzzworthy Bumblebee, the Spike 2-pack. Chris likes it better than I do. I'm not a fan of it. I just don't like the robot mode. I don't like the transformation. Vehicle mode's nice. Actually, I say I don't like the robot mode. The robot mode's okay. Vehicle mode is nice. I don't like the transformation to get it there, and I'm not a fan of the toy in general.
That's interesting because I found the transformation felt a lot like a modernization of G1 Minibot transformation. It's basically the same.
Those shoulder panels are a pain in the butt. It popped out for me. I couldn't get one of them. One of them moved fine or latched fine. The other I couldn't get it to latch.
Okay.
One detail on that I actually did like that I forgot to mention is on the back panel of the car is the molded detail that looks like the stickers.
Yes.
On G1 Hubcap or Cliffjumper or Bumblebee.
Or Bumper.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, one last thing on that too. If you feel the texture of the rear tires, like they're plastic, but they feel a little bit like the rubberized plastic on the G1 mini cars. I thought that was a nice touch. You may continue, Brian.
I need to pre-order Thundercracker. No, I don't. Never mind. So, one more off-topic thing I forgot. I got the Master Chief and Warthog 4-inch scale. It's the nicest G.I. Joe that I've bought in a couple years. I actually really dig it. My Walmart now has more of these figures, and Target does too. I may end up picking up the 4-inch scale toys. They're actually.
Who did we determine was manufacturing those?
Jazzwares.
Okay. Yeah, because you were talking about that some on the Patreon stream, I think.
Yeah.
Everybody should go sign up for Patreon and go listen to the archive of that.
Kim found me one of the 3D model Optimus Primes, a little metal one. I'll never put it together, but I have it. Speaking of metal, the Jada, Starscream, Bumblebee, and Optimus Prime mini vehicle 3-pack. I got that. really quickly. Don stole my thunder. Not that there's much thunder to steal. I just didn't know that other people had found it. The Ghostbusters, Afterlife, Ecto 1, the Ectotron. I found out I went to go cancel my pre-order of this at Target. I ordered it in Ultimate Expanse at the same time and found out that that whole order was canceled, and I had no idea.
Oh.
Yeah, so fortunately I can still pick it up. Let's see here. Couple more things. I'll go through the boring stuff first. Voyager, Netflix, Optimus Prime. I really love the colors on this. I really like the way it looks. It's my G2 Earthrise Optimus Prime. I totally dig that. It needs a little G2 Autobot tampograph on the leg. Same thing. Soundwave. Pisses me off now that we got the Siege Soundwave. When a few more decisions, and it obviously doesn't fit in with Siege because it's not hideous.
Laserbeak sticks on the arm for yours.
Yeah.
Huh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, mine does not.
Oh, are you using the peg or are you using the legs?
I am using the peg.
Okay, never mind. Because there's notches on the forearm where the feet are supposed
that doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah,
it does
see
not work.
that's why I was surprised because it looked like it was sticking on by the feet, but it's not. So
Nope.
it doesn't matter.
Nope. God, I love
You're
this.
just a damn liar.
Yeah, I love this. I love this.
Yeah, the thing that makes me mad about that is a few different decisions that we would have had Soundblaster made off of that instead of the Siege mold.
Mm-hmm.
And I want Soundblaster off of that.
Yeah.
With Buzzsaw.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see here. 1, 2, 3 things. Okay, so I was complaining a couple weeks ago stating how much I hate Pops. I do hate Pops. Stating I hate Pops. I really do.
Yeah, it's not a complaint, it's a statement of fact.
Yeah. And a package came a couple days ago, last week.
Oh.
And there was a flippin' damn Jazz Pop in it. And
Now you have to buy them all, Brian.
no, I don't.
You have one.
No, I don't. I was at Target and I saw this exclusive Soundwave, and I like reached for a second and I backed off. I'm like, I'm not buying Pops. But yeah, Diecast sent this to me. So thank you, Diecast.
I kind of wish I would have thought of it, honestly.
I hate Pops, but they're better than Mighty Mugs.
You're muted, Diecast.
Or he's not even there. Do you already go to bed?
Yeah, he's muted.
Oh, he's there.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I said you're welcome. I just wanted to make sure you didn't miss out on the experience.
Oh yeah, I love it. No, thank you. I really do appreciate it. Something else. So like Don, I got my MP51 RC. I played with it more since I got it last week. I still don't like the transformation because it's kind of like the Generations toy. She's basically a shell around the robot. But the robot is pretty killer. I've seen, she is highly posable. I have seen some wicked poses that people have been able to pull off with this because the joints are nice and there's good tolerances and everything. Our buddy Dusty Griffin has one who's doing a single handstand with this thing. And it just looks really elegant and everything. So the robot mode is actually pretty killer. But the vehicle mode is the vehicle mode, but I just hate that she's basically a shell former. There's just, I don't know.
A masterpiece.
Yeah. Well, like most masterpieces, they go out of the way to have stupid, overly complicated tricks and overly complex transformations. She doesn't. But it's not satisfying. I would like to have I don't know. I'm not a fan of the transformation, but the robot mode's pretty good. So that's actually improved. And the last thing that I got, I've been wanting this one for years. I finally just broke down and got it, and I hope I don't drop it because it's heavy. Beast Wars 2nd Taco Tank.
Ooh.
Yeah. Mental box. So.
That box is in great shape.
It's
Yeah.
it's pretty darn good shape. Yeah. Just something.
You know, I've never even seen one of those in person.
I haven't either until I got this one. I
Keep
saw.
it away from Studio Series Cup.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh.
I saw recently where a bunch of folks, friends that I follow in various places have happened to get this, and I'm like, darn it, I'm going to join the cool kids club, and I sure did. So, and I didn't buy anything during the show. Real quick, of course, tfradio.net/Amazon. We would really appreciate it if you could use that and buy some toilet paper or something. That would be great. It's what pays the bills. We also have our Patreon at patreon.com/tfradio. We have all sorts of content we're posting there. We're really enjoying doing the History on the Fives podcast. That's been a lot of fun lately. And I want to thank our patrons at the Touch tier. Specifically Kevin Dorsey, Ryan Bona, Cheesy Patty, Emmett Stresovich, Rabbits, Hector Bones, Matthew Dedman, Jonathan James, Nathan Sampy, Ness, Joey Russell, Jason Hiley, Mike Mallory, Jason W. Rye, Sean Hamilton, Jacob Owen Lucia, Sean Bratton, and Spider Bob. So thank you all so much for being patrons at the Touch tier. If you want to get your name mentioned and have a chance to be on History on the Fives, and go sign up at the Touch tier at patreon.com/tfradio. Plugs, follow us on Twitter at tfradio. We have everything at tfradio.net. Years worth, going back over 20 years of shows.
Oh, my life.
Yeah, I know. I'm personally on Twitter at bkilby and Instagram at briankilby and at briankilby.com. Chris, how do people get a hold of you?
I'm personally on Twitter at ChrisRTXV. It's my birthday next week. It always is sad because I'm old and dying. But if you would like to send me something from my Amazon wish list, that's at tfradio.net/ChrisList, and that does send back to also help with the show expenses.
Yes.
For my toy photography work, you can find all of that collected at playwithphotography.com. I'm also on social media at playwithphotos on Twitter or instagram.com/playwithphotography. If you'd like to show some support and help me keep doing this, or give me the birthday gift that keeps on giving and become a $5 patron for a year, that'd be pretty cool too. Patreon.com/playwithphotos. Starting at $2, you get early access to galleries, and up from there, you get other non-tangible benefits, but benefits nonetheless. Because, what kind of tangible benefits can you even do with a photography website? Prints, I guess, but that's logistics.
Ooh, you know what you could do?
Calendar?
You could get one of those Instax cameras, you could take a personalized photo.
I don't work in film.
It's not film. It's like Polaroid. It's like
That's film-ish.
Yeah.
Ish.
I got Kim for her birthday last year a Polaroid camera, and JC for her birthday I got the Fujifilm Instax camera, which is like a tiny little picture, but I love it. I want one for myself. So, okay, sorry. Anything else?
I think that's all.
Rob.
Okay, I am on Twitter at Figure Reviewers and Rob Flails. Rob Flails is the Twitter from Flail Throughs, which is my YouTube channel. Still covering Gundam Battle Operation 2, which last week it added the Gundam Mark V. I got it. That's a lot less ridiculous than the Silver Bullet Suppressor, and still fun to play. If you like what I do over there at youtube.com/flailthroughs, you can go to patreon.com/flailthroughs and throw money at me in exchange for requests. And also, if you just want to send me something when you're done sending Chris something for his birthday, there is tfradio.net/claylist, which, just like Chris's list, does send a little bit back to Brian.
Sweet.
For the show expenses.
For the show expenses, yeah.
For the show expenses.
Diecast.
You're muted, by the way.
You can follow me on Diecast. No, you can follow me
He's
on Twitter
asleep.
at Diecast too. Yeah, pretty much.
Late.
And you can like my Facebook page at Reviews by Diecast and see all my reviews at tfradio.net/reviews.
Cool. John?
That John D everywhere.
Rob Springer's not here, but he is at RoboRobSpringer on Twitter and zonebase.org, and the podcast, the zonebase.com podcast will be back. Transform Squadron will be back next month. So, okay, that's it.
Don?
Oh, Don. I thought I already did Don. Sorry.
It's okay. I can be reached on Twitter at HMRC4 EVR.
I knew you hadn't because he was muted up until just like 15 seconds ago.
We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Sweet. Okay. Hey, guess what, people? No post show.
Yeah, the last half hour of show was post show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you guys.
Cool. So
Good
people
night,
watching
guys.
live, we'll see you next week. Sorry about that.